So, there are two main goals that I am pursuing with this channel. The first one is to bring indie games under people's noses, because I think a big problem that indie games have is not a lot of people see them, not a lot of people come across them unless they're out specifically looking for them. So I'd like to have a moderately successful channel that is going, here are these cool indie games, go and play this. It's free or very low cost or whatever. And as a sort of a meta perspective on that goal, is I'm hoping to put a little bit of a dent, if I can, if I even have that minor an effect, in AAA games and the really big studios, because they have become about profit rather than about making games. And I think if there is competition from the indie games market, serious competition, more people moving across and playing those, it will force the big studios to focus a bit less on profit, because that's how they will continue to make a profit, and more on actually producing a good game that people want to play and isn't a microtransaction minefield or whatever tactic the studio has decided to go with, or the publishing house. So that's kind of my goal. Maybe they'll even treat the devs better. Who knows? That's just the first goal. But the second goal is, I think, equally, if not more important, and that is to show developers the kind of things that I, as a long-term gamer and someone who's also worked in the entertainment development world, show things that I have noticed that they might not have noticed. That's kind of my intention here, and ways to possibly polish the game up a little bit, at least as far as my opinion is concerned, or at least possibly even just inspire other things that even I haven't thought of. But maybe my discussions, my critiques might show them things like that. So that's the second goal, is to actually help the indie games community get better. Again, if I can in some small way assist with that, that will leave me with a feeling of accomplishment. That's what I want to get to. And hopefully have a at least moderately successful channel that I can maybe live off. That would be the biggest win. So, the game that we are looking at for this episode, for our 100th episode, is a game that I think, normally I pick games that are pretty much polished and could do with a few critiques here and there, but really just need to be seen. But this one needs a lot more polish. It's called Puzzle Champions, and the basic gameplay is you have a fantasy hero, and you do battle with enemies through match 3, grids. We'll have a look at that here. So I will select a character. I've already put my name in, Fort K, so I am Fort K the warrior, and we can now play game. And here I am standing in the field of emptiness. I can open a door to another area. There is an enemy there. If I click on the enemy, we do battle, and we now have match 3. And how this match 3 turns into actual battle events, I don't quite understand, and that'll come up in the critiques. But here, we click things. I have done some damage there. He's made a move. My turn to make a move. You can see whose turn it is down in the bottom left corner here, but there's very little more info here. There are these grids of plants that presumably mean something, but I don't understand how to turn them into battle information. There's a lot going on here. I don't really know how to plan through any of it, because I don't understand what the mechanisms are. But it's still really interesting. I love match 3. It's a really, really fun sort of gameplay type to play. That was going to be my move. The game is fun. I love the idea of match 3 being used to do combat. So far through, however it works, you slowly chip away at the enemy's health until it hits 0, and then you have won the battle, and you get a bit of loot and some XP, and you level up and have access to more of the world. And that's the gameplay. So I'm going to stop talking about the gameplay there, or demonstrating the gameplay there. And if you If that's all you wanted to see, then thank you for watching. Don't forget to like if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more itch.io videos demonstrated for both gameplay and critique. And don't forget to leave comments, because comments are good for you, they're good for me, they might even be good for YouTube. Nobody's really quite sure. And that's that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. If, however, you are interested in the critique, well, there is plenty to talk about here. The first one is what is happening in the screen. I don't know. So in terms of the UI design, there are three big things I really want to mention here. First of all, hide info that isn't relevant. I don't know what is relevant here. I don't know if these grids are relevant, if you need to reference them all the time. I don't know if this stuff is relevant and you need to reference it all the time. But if any of it is something that you look at once and then don't need to look at again, put it behind a hideaway menu. Make it so you can hide away and pull it out when you need it. What is needed to be added is a box showing what the hell is going on in the fights. Am I working towards a combination of things? I mean, I see some of these change, I see some of these change. I don't know if that means I'm working towards a collection of items every time I make a move. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I mean, it's even quite hard to tell whether it's my turn or not. I mean, I know that now down here, but when I first tried this, I was clicking around while my enemy I was fighting was clicking around, and I didn't know what was going on. So yeah. I think add a tutorial type of mode, and yeah, sort of work on what info is displayed and what info isn't displayed at all times, and that includes that start screen and things like that. So a lot of UI polishing here needs to be done. The text needs to be more obvious, easier to read. I don't know why this is so small. I don't know why this needs to be up here. Can we not move that text over there and make this a little bit bigger? I don't know. I don't know what your constraints are, because I don't understand the game at that level. So I can't even suggest improvements to it, because I just don't get it. Yeah, so that's the big one. Is the hide the unnecessary info and show the more combat info, and in the sort of the movement pages as well. Hide the things I don't need to see, show the things I do need to see. Even on the main menu, I don't need to see all that challenge stuff. Put that in a sorted menu, pop out item some way. Okay, so that's the first critique. So a lot of work needs to be done on the UI, and the first thing is just hide stuff and then figure out what you need to show at any particular point. The next critique is the lore. This is a fantasy game. Fantasy games are supposed to have big saga-like stories behind them, and this needs that. It needs. Sorry, I'm just reloading to take you into the front page again, to where I think the lore should be. As you've just started the page, have even if it's just a lore button that tells you about it, or even when you start a new character, perhaps some windows pop up and say, haha, you are the mighty plant sorting warrior of the realm of match 3 area, and you are fighting these evil forces that the dark necromancer lord has summoned and is sending against the innocent good folk of the small towns and so on. It doesn't really matter, as long as there is a consistent world view, an idea, the idea that you have stepped into the middle of stuff that is happening and you're going to affect actual stuff that is going to happen. And fantasy games really, really need that. Even Diablo, which was a terrible, game of just pick. I was saying it's a terrible game because this particular mechanic was, I think, the thing that ruined Diablo for me, or Diablo 2 more than anything else. But it was really just a game of get better loot. But even there was a storyline that you played through, but then you started at the beginning and you played through it again at more difficulty levels just to get better loot. It became the get better loot game, and I found that very boring, and that's why I never really got too far with it. But even that game had a storyline, quite a deep storyline. There's a lot of lore behind it that people have added to over the years, and as each game has come out, different personalities behind the different characters and things like that. So if you want to make a fantasy game, or any game really, but specifically fantasy games, you need to sink a little bit of effort into here is the lore. So yeah, clean up the UI. I mean, why is this all on the page? Hide that away. Why is this on the page? Hide that away and make it look better while you're about it. This button and this button, make bigger and put in the middle here, because that's what I'm here for, is either play the game or start a new character. I don't care about this I can look at in the game. This is my ranting about that. And the final little critique is just the sounds. I've muted the tab because you can't turn the music off, or you can turn the music off in a fight, but then it turns itself back on again when you come back here, and it's make sounds in the game, relevant sounds, relevant to the lore, relevant to the gameplay, and then give the player a little menu in the corner of the screen that's always there that allows you to turn some or all of the sounds on or off separately. And that's it, really. Those are my big critiques. I think if the developer is hopefully inspired by some of those and works on them a bit, this game will reach new heights and be interesting. Just explain more of the game, explain the lore behind it, explain what is going on in a nice tutorial, how to play, what the mechanics and mechanisms are. Hide some of the info, show the relevant info, and then fix the sounds, and this will be an incredible game that hopefully more and more people want to play. But hopefully people will want to come and give it a try anyway, because it is good. And I enjoyed it greatly, and I cannot wait to see where it goes once it's worked on a bit more. Thank you for making it. Thank you for watching the video, and goodbye. See you in the next one.